Right, breaking news this morning. The rate of inflation fallen to 2% in the year to May, finally reaching the Bank of England's target for the first time in nearly 3 years. And we are joined this morning by the Work and Pension Secretary, Mel Stride.
He's back.
Look, Mel, it's very good to see you.
Oh, my, look at his dress. Where's the tie?
You've changed your outfit since the last time we
believe
saw
it.
you.
Change, Ed.
I can't believe it.
Why
he's
are
supposed to be a
you...
Conservative.
Go on.
I was going to say, I'm in Devon now, in what was my constituency, so different attire.
And I might have, Mel Stride, I may have misnamed the village where the Prime Minister was yesterday, this private village where you paid £10 to enter. Can you, for those who live in Devon, can you correct my mistake, please?
Well, I'm not sure exactly where Rishi went yesterday, so I'm not sure the village you're referring to. But I do know that one of the things he was pointing out that worries a lot of farmers in my constituency is what Labour are likely to do when it comes to inheritance tax and farms that could lead to a bill for farmers when they sell on their farms of £600,000
Rishi Sunak was in Devon, not far away. Yes, I mean, I know it's a big county, but you don't know where the Prime Minister was yesterday.
It's huge.
He was in a place called...
No, I don't know, and in fact...
He was in Clovelly. Clovelly or Clovelly?
Clovelly.
Clovelly.
Clovelly, I would say.
Very nicely said.
Yes.
Oh.
All right, OK. Well, you were going to talk about...
Are you happy with that? Have I passed the test?
Definitely.
You've passed the test on pronunciation, we presume. I just find it remarkable that you don't know where the Prime Minister was yesterday.
Well, he moves around, and for to be fair, Susanna, for security reasons, not everybody knows until the very last minute exactly what's happening. I've been out banging on doors, talking to constituents about the election, about the fact we're going to be getting taxes down under this government. Very large number of concerns about the tax rises, of course, that Labour have in store for us. So that's where my focus has been.
Let me ask you about that.
In the constituency
We
here.
have a 70-year high tax burden, and that has happened under your watch as the Conservative government. You say you're going to promise in this election that taxes would come down if the Tories got back into government. Our poll says that voters don't believe you. Labour, more trusted on the economy, and voters believe Labour is being more honest about taxes and more credible in its manifesto offering. Can you guarantee to the voters, because they want some honesty about tax, can you guarantee to the voters that taxes would come down if the Tories got back in?
Yes, absolutely, and it's there in black and white in our manifesto. We've already delivered on tax cuts, so 29 million working people currently benefiting from tax cuts due to the changes we've already brought in, and that's being felt in their pay packets right now. So for an average earner, that's £900 per year. But we're going to go still further than that if we're successful in this election, which will be to abolish national insurance entirely for those who are self-employed. That's worth about £1,500 for 2 million self-employed people, and halve the rate of national insurance, meaning a value of about £1,350 for 27 million hard-working people up and down the country. Now, Keir Starmer was interviewed, I think, just yesterday and started defining working people as excluding those who are working and have savings. That's about 2/3 of the total. So it's about 20 million people he doesn't class as working people, and he's not therefore prepared to protect from additional tax rises. And what Labour have got to do is come clean about where those tax increases are going to fall. And we've had a recent paper from the Tribune group of MPs, which includes Keir Starmer, which fed into thinking around the manifesto, and it's very clear in there, increases in inheritance tax, council tax and so on, all areas that Labour have not categorically
We're trying to focus specifically on, because of course it's easy for the parties to say things about each other, focusing specifically on the fact you just put a cast iron guarantee out into the campaign.
Can I ask you, Mr. Stride, to clear up where we are? Can I ask you, Mr. Stride, to clear up where we are on your tax promises? In your manifesto, you said £17 billion worth of tax cuts from the Conservatives, paid for by £12 billion of welfare savings. The independent think tank, the IFS, said it was difficult in the extreme to get that 12 billion because it was already in the government figures. Jeremy Hunt, in his constituency, said that these were cuts which he announced last autumn. But the Prime Minister said, no, he said, they're not already factored into the figures. He said, footnote reform is not in there. Employment and support allowance transition is not on there. Reforms to personal independence payments are not in there. So there's 3 things. So you need those 3 things to add up to £12 billion. So let's just take them in turn. Personal independence payments reform, how much are you going to save from PIP reform?
So we need to look at all of those things in the round.
No, but I'm asking you, because you've got £12 billion.
You are right.
How much of the £12 billion is from PIP reform?
Well, we know that PIP, for example, the cost of PIP is projected to rise by over 10 billion between now and the end of the scorecard period. But look, the important point is, can I just come back to the point you made about Paul Johnson?
No, because I've asked you...
What Paul Johnson...
Mr. Stride, I'm asking you a very... I'm asking you a very clear question for our viewers, because we want to know where the £12 billion comes from, so we understand how you'll pay for your tax cuts.
Okay.
So we just need to know how much from PIP reform, how much from ESA reform, and how much from Fitnote reform. We just need 3 figures from you. If you tell us those 3 figures, we'll know your sums add up, and that you're not playing prevaricating games.
So no, we're not playing any prevaricating games. We are consulting currently on PIP, so it'd be wrong to prejudge the outcome of that.
No, but you said £12 billion in your manifesto.
Yes, correct, and we will find that money. And let me explain how it is eminently achievable. If you look, Ed, at the total spend on the welfare bill where people have some element of disability or health element to their claim, the current cohort costs £69 billion per year. That is forecast to rise to 90 billion over the next 5 years. That's an increase of 21 billion. If we hold the cohort at the level it is today, we will save 14 billion on the forecast. If we get it back to where it was pre-COVID, we will actually save 35 billion against the forecast. We are saying, very modestly, a 12 billion saving. Do you know what Labour are saying? They're saying nothing can be done. They are prepared to let the welfare bill rip out of all control.
So you won't tell us how much of the 12 billion is from PIP reform?
Skyrocketing costs. I am telling you that I am absolutely confident.
Okay.
I'm absolutely... you've mentioned 3 things. There are others in the mix as well. You mentioned Fitnote reform. You mentioned 1 million people who will be accelerated off legacy benefits onto universal credit, a much more active environment in which to get people into work. And judge us by our record. Look at what we've done on work capability assessment reform, where the OBR says that we will see 424,000 fewer people on those long-term sickness and health benefits as a consequence of the reforms that I've brought in. We have demonstrated that we can act and make a real difference. That 12 billion, I've contextualised it, is eminently achievable.
The record is that welfare spending has gone up rather than down, but anyway.
Mel Stride...
let me just make the final point, if I may, Ed, because you mentioned Paul Johnson, and he did say it would be a challenge, but he also said that in 2015 when we said we'd get these numbers down, and subsequently said, quote, I put my hands up, they did actually achieve what they said. I'm very confident that we will achieve those savings.
I love the jumper and the open neck shirt, Mr. Stride. Thank you so much for joining us on the programme again.
I love the interview. We'll
see you Friday, and maybe Monday, and maybe Wednesday.
Well, hopefully before that. It's a shame you don't have an afternoon show, really.
Got to give credit where credit is due. You are there, and the Chancellor is not.
The stalwart.
It's very noticeable.